Hello everyone. This video will be much shorter than usual. At least I hope it will be shorter because we're not going to analyze any placements in the sky. I will make a video on the Antares Capricorn full moon, the second full moon this year, which is at Antares degrees, very close to Pluto in 2 days. It will be exact on the 21st. But on the 17th of July, you will be able to observe what occultation means. Occultation is an astronomical term. It's a phenomenon when the moon nears another celestial object, either a fixed star or a planet, and crosses over it. And while doing so, it will overshadow it for an hour or so. And then an hour later or 2 hours later, you will be able to see the object on the other side. It's a very interesting phenomenon because it looks as if the smaller object were flying or swimming towards the face of the moon, and at the moment the moon is well, it's a gibbous moon, so it's actually becoming bigger and bigger until the full moon, and so well, actually it is the end of first quarter becoming gibbous tonight, so it's a nice round and big moon phase. And what's happening is because the moon doesn't have oxygen around it, so it really, you can see the last moments when it reaches the other object and actually swallows it. It looks like as if it were swallowing it. And then an hour later, the object will appear on the other side. So let's take a look at the London chart. This is for London, and you need to actually see what's happening at your place where you live. So this is it. Before we actually do it, you need to understand actually three, because I didn't show you the fourth type, which is bright daylight, because we don't need it. There is this time and date website where you can actually see moonrise, moonset, sunrise, sunset data at your place. That's what you should do. So on July the 17th, the sunset in London is at 21:03. That's the exact sunset. When the moon will be at 9:58 Sagittarius, and Antares' position at the moment is 10:06. So this is a complete conjunction, really, in every sense. You can actually use the word conjunction in this case. Just the mere 8 minutes of an arc, they are conjunct. And the three terms that you need to know is civil twilight, nautical twilight, and astronomical twilight. Astronomical twilight is black sky. That happens only around, as you can see, around 11 p.m. London time. Nautical twilight, which means when you are actually able to see objects when it's dim enough to see them or dim enough not to see them, actually. So that's the borderline. And then civil twilight is actually when the sun goes down a couple of minutes later. That's called civil twilight. For instance, in the United States, you might know that I lived in the United States for a while, and I also took my driver's license there. And I remember distinctly that one of the questions I needed to answer was when you need to switch on your headlights, and it is right after sunset. So right after sunset, it's worth knowing. Of course, nowadays cars know this kind of, and they switch on automatically. But when I took my license, which was 30 years ago, it was the cars needed while the headlights need to be switched on and off. So that's when you need to watch nautical twilight. But funnily, I don't think you will be able to observe the full occultation period from London, only the aftermath, simply because by the time there's the sunset, the moon will be exactly conjunct Antares, so it will be crossing over it completely, and you won't be able to see Antares only afterwards. And if you look at the chart, it's it's quite relevant. The Mars Uranus conjunction is still tight. It's on the IC, so you won't be able to see Mars. Lilith is on the midheaven. The Pluto is rising, and what will be important in the full moon chart, Australia moved from Leo into Virgo and will be conjunct Trans-Pluto. Trans-Pluto is dimension jump, and Australia is karma breaking, and you have the vertex in between, so the point of no free will. So you have free will and no free will both in the chart, quite fascinatingly. So here's the sunset in London. And that is why you won't be able to see, first of all, you won't see anything in the sky on sunset except for the moon, but you won't see any stars yet, only just an hour later. So this is complete occultation. If you see, it's a complete conjunction. What does Antares mean? The name Antares means the arrival of Mars, because this is a very bright and reddish star. It's the heart of the Celestial Scorpio. And it's a very prominent star because it is on the ecliptic and also on the Milky Way. So it is one of the pillars of the Milky Way and one of the royal stars of Persia. And it is the watcher of the West, which brings all kinds of success, only if you are able to withhold from black magic. That's what Star Lore tells us. So it's quite fascinating. It's quite a fascinating star. Okay, so that's here Antares, and this is the entire Scorpio. Here's the head of the Scorpio, and you can see the rest of the stars. Oculus and Akumen, these are the two stings. Actually, above the stings, that's where those are two nebulae, part of Scorpio, of course. And here's the here are the hold on one second. This is 1 hour before sunset. So actually, this is something, so it's at 8 o'clock p.m. You won't be able to see it, unfortunately. You will be able to see the moon. If you have a telescope, you might be able to see something, but not just with binoculars, for sure. So that's 1 hour before sunset. This is at 10 p.m. is the nautical twilight. You will be able to see the moon, but the moon will completely cross over Antares, so you won't be able to see the star proper. And around 11 p.m., Antares will suddenly appear on the western side of the moon. And by midnight, there will be a 1 degree difference. And so if you look up at the sky at midnight, you will see the moon next to Antares. So that's the occultation. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see how the moon is nearing the star. If this happens anytime soon or anytime in the near future, I will also show it. Maybe you can utilize it. Maybe you will be able to see it. But even if you just see the how Antares appears on the other side, is fascinating to watch. And in this case, as I said, you don't need to say the moon is aligned with Antares, because they are actually really conjunct in the longitude and in the declinations as well. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.